Welcome back to the Lifespring Age, episode 42, The Last Night at Willowbrook. After a day at AdventureCon, Lafi and Lorelei speak with Maria about the return of Lorelei's telepathy and their worries about the dangers in the future, featuring Asher as Lorelei and Beth as Lafi, and me, James, as all other voices. Follow us on the socials. So you, I don't know if you realise it like in the moment. I think I described it as like these beats coming off Laffy in like waves and then settling on people like almost like ash from a fire, like when a fire's gone up, but obviously it doesn't burn and it isn't ash, so it isn't gross. Almost like
I feel offended.
almost like incorporeal, I don't want to say bugs, but we'll go with fireflies because the imagery of that is not quite as repulsive as like incorporeal bugs landing on your skin. That's nightmare fuel.
I can't get them up.
I can't get blue.
Not the bees.
I talked about how you. I don't think we went into great detail about everyone else's gift, but yours specifically, I thought was the most. Obviously, you got back something we took from you a while ago. But I gave it a wee little boosty because there were some things about the telepathy that I didn't annoy me, but I was like, I wish this was different. Specifically, how you basically people could send stuff to you if you let them.
I'm a call center.
But you could send you were like fucking PO box sending and receiving, and it was annoying. So how this works, there are a certain amount of people you are always connected to. Conveniently, that number is the party plus 2 or 3 NPCs, right? So
the number is 8.
The number is 8, so it's the whole party plus or minus, like plus a couple of NPCs. You guys are all in like a web of communication, so it's you can talk to anyone, and you don't have to initiate the conversation, but it runs through Lorelei as like a hub. But you can also like tunnel it to a specific person. You can still have private conversations. It's just the kind of reverse now. So the default is like a phone party. I don't know if you get the reference, but you used to have like open lines.
Is this a group call?
Yeah, kind of like a group call. But you can also tunnel it to specific people, because I was like, well, it doesn't make sense for you not to be able to do that.
My question is, if say Laffy and Lou were in a separate room having a conversation, would Wolf be able to listen in?
No.
Okay.
You can bitch about it behind her back, babes. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm scared. I'm scared because Peru keeps saying that he's gonna
no, it's not,
ambush
it's
me.
not open. It's not like open house telepathy. It's the same as if you imagine it like sending voice notes on WhatsApp. It's a WhatsApp.
It's just like you're in a group call.
Yeah, group call. And if you wanna log out of the group chat or like mute yourself or whatever, you can. You have the ability to do that. One of the other things on there, which I was quite happy with, I quite like the idea of, is you can pick one person to have like limitless communication back and forth. So the rest of it is limited to a fairly generous like 120-foot radius. I couldn't imagine it.
But what's the description range? 100. Wait.
It's like 120, 150. It was
100.
Whatever.
The range of telepathy is 150 feet.
Yeah, larger than most maps I can be asked.
Yeah.
So a reasonably good range, but there's one person you can connect to kind of across all distances. And for the sake of argument and the sake of plot and just for convenience, I thought it'd be good to have that with Ingrid for the moment. You can chop and change that if you wish to.
There is one question. That person who I pick, do they have to be within range when I initially pick them?
Yeah, you need to be near them when you do it.
Cool.
So you can't, like, say for example, you wanted to bully Kilpatrick or Timothy Footboy. You were like, right, Timothy's in the city. It's 2 a.m. I'm gonna wake him up like, hey loser, you bed by yourself on a Saturday night. You fucking incel prick. Yeah, exactly. You have to be kind of nearish to them.
Just making sure.
Accept it as well. They
have to accept my friend request.
Yeah, your direct messages.
To answer the call.
They can block your messages if they want to. Okay. But I thought that it gives you back your initial telepathy with a wee little boosty and removes the most, I think, frustrating feature, which was basically you saying, I was talking to Laffy, guys.
Everyone else,
shut up,
Lou. Shut the
fuck
up. Hair flick.
Yeah, but so I mean, what was I don't know what you want to do. Whether you want to pick up straight away from that, because it's like
Sorry, I was thinking of this really funny instance where Wolf says, like, wait, can you hear me? And Laffy's, like, lying there, and Wolf says, like, yeah, of course I can hear you. What do you mean? And then everyone else is, like, looks over, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I kind of pictured it like... I will say, I had pictured a slight change in the texture. Oh, this is a really weird thing to say, because I know it's like psychic communication, but like I imagine it, because it's coming from a slightly different source now, it would sound different to the recipient. So I don't know whether whether Lorelei has been like, sorry, too many L names.
It is, yeah.
Too many L names. But I don't know whether she's always like trying to send these messages, like you know, every so often.
I don't think she is.
It
doesn't make sense.
Well, it kind of does, because it's been something she's kind of always been able to do, and she's only not been able to do it for like a week. So imagine if you'd like... I'm trying to think of like a real world equivalent. So
be sure telepathy is not a normal one.
I know, but like, imagine you've twisted your ankle, right, really badly, and when you first do it, you think, fuck, have I broken it? Am I ever going to be walking on this again? You spend like literally a week. When I hurt my ankle really badly, I'd had like deep ligament damage. I was off my feet for a week, and then those first few steps, those like tentative, every so often you like tested it, and I was like, nah, it's still not there, it's still not there.
Testing to see if the bath is the right temperature.
Yeah, that's probably a better example than my feet reference. Like, I really do need to.
You do like feet, James?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, you test the bath is the right temperature with your feet.
Or your hand.
You can stick your head in.
Or your hand.
It's either your foot or your hand.
No, you can't test the temperature of water with your hand because it's a different.
Or your elbow.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to be weird about it, I guess.
Well, I mean, that's what they tell you to do when you've got a kid.
Babies, yeah.
Elbow drop it, yeah.
Just got that. Oh no.
But yes,
we're all sane.
I kind of pictured it that every so often, and if this is wrong, just stop me. But I kind of every so often pictured Lorelei, because she's very quiet in herself, like staring at either her sister, her mum, or Laffy, and thinking,
or her dad, James.
Or her dad, yeah. But I picked these three women, like the females in her life. I think very like the kind of the most important ones from anyway. It could be a dad, equally it could be a dad, but her mum, because she was the like the wellspring of the telepathy. That was something they shared.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked those three. So I just picture that her looking at those four people, thinking a thought very loud, hoping it gets through. Would that be inaccurate?
Just really trying.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a fart that squeaks out. You're like, oh shit, too hard.
Yeah. You know what? I did roll an ad turn, and I was just gonna be like, I'll make a wisdom check and just see what I roll. And I think she would try. What'd she say? I think she would see this whole like moment, and obviously you mentioned that like some of them a bit more like with the other people, it was a bit more like you could see it, if that makes sense, like rusty.
Yeah,
like there was that moment with like the wings. So, yeah. So like I think she would look around and like think for a second, and with that wisdom check, I think she'd be like, Laffy, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Then she'd like pause for a second. Wait.
Wait.
Laffy, turn around, look at me.
She'd like scramble. Like scramble up and turn around like, are you...
Laffy, can you hear me?
When?
I think just now.
Everyone else would be like, the fuck is going on over there? Because Laffy's like, Wolf is silent. Oh, they can hear, okay.
Yeah, well, everyone else is like, what the hell is she talking about? Because they're not here. Actually, no, maybe it's because you are directing it just at Laffy, actually, yeah.
I feel like it would be like staring at Laffy. It would have been
Yeah.
There's like a giddy smile on her face.
Yeah, Laffy would be beaming. She'd be like, oh my god, she's okay now.
Fix her brain with love.
Wow. I like looks around. It all feels weird now. Yeah.
You don't have to use it. You can still, you know.
I know, but it's useful and it's nice to have it back. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Rusty's like
Sorry.
sniffing at the
Rusty's
camera.
sniffling at something. He's found like an empty packet of something and he's got his nose in it.
Oh no, he found the weed.
But yeah, so there's this moment, obviously it's a very nice moment. You get to share. Would there be a desire to like run off and tell everyone else, or would it be a more private moment?
I think Lafi would, because Lafi can talk back, right?
Yeah.
In her head.
I mean, she could before. Yeah.
So I think she'd like look around and see everyone staring at her and just like kind of make like a hand gesture to like her throat and like head, as if to say like she's got it back, and then they'd react however they'd react when they're not here.
Everyone in unison says "Yay."
Yeah.
I mean, if
and then
you wanted, this could have happened slightly later. Like people could have drifted off to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
Because I picture the two of them probably stayed by the fire for a while.
Yeah. Completely. People. I haven't discussed the sleeping arrangements. I really don't give a shit. But like people have drifted off. You know, Aeon and I can't remember what we gave to Aeon, but you know, presumably it was impressive. So he's gone off to do a thing. Juno's gone off to do a thing. Lou's gone off to like randomly ambush somebody in the night. Start the party.
That sounds so bad.
All right then. And then so it's the three. Like Rusty is kind of asleep by the fire.
He's like curled up next to her. He's with a blanket on him next to the fire.
I know he's not a dog, but the imagery just really works for me. So he's just happily asleep by the fire, or like dozing by the fire. Riptide has gone bed a little bit early. She's still quite hurt. So the two of you kind of like by the not dying embers of the fire, but like the last kind of hour or so of the kind of dwindling firelight could have this and it's the full moon as well.
Oh yeah,
So
you did say that, didn't
quite
you?
light. Yeah, I did say that. Yeah, because I am tracking lunar months.
That's crazy.
This is I think the third lunar month, like the third full moon since last.
I mean, I track days sometimes, or I get the close to.
I mean, I've not been tracking days. I think lunar cycles are.
It's the same sort of thing. But...
Yeah. But...
Wow. Okay.
No, I think Lafi
in my world, the lunar cycles are weird.
In your world, everything's weird.
Everything's weird. Yeah.
Fantasy January. No.
Fantanuary.
I think Lafi would like gently nudge Wolf to like talk to her mom.
Oh, I think she might be asleep. I can see if I can find her. Do you want to come as well? Oh.
If you want me to.
I mean, I don't mind. You might want to have a rest. Rusty might be scared. I'm not sure.
I don't want to intrude, but I can come with, and then if you guys want some time, I can walk away.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I will say, for the sake of argument, Rusty is both asleep by the fire and following you, depending on what you want to do with him. He's Schrodinger's
I'll just have him in like a piggyback, so he's like asleep on Laffy's back. Yeah. He's just like wrapped himself up in her hair.
He's all tucked out, bless him. So yeah, you head inside. There was a moment you thought, because it's quite late now, that you thought maybe your mother would be asleep, but for the sake of the fact that you said you wanted to speak to her, we'll say she isn't. She's there, kind of in. I won't say in the kitchen. I've always had her in the kitchen. She's in one of the rooms.
Just sitting in the living room with a glass of wine.
No. Yeah. I'll say what she's doing. I don't know because I don't do this, and Helen doesn't do this, but I assume some people do. She's applying night creams to her face.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she turns around and she's got like the opposite of blackface. It's like cucumbers. No, it's not that severe. It's like she's like, you've probably seen this before, like being in the house. She does her absolute best to stay as young looking as possible. Even though she doesn't look like old or haggard or anything like that, it's a lot of effort. And she's got this like Alice band on to keep her hair, like very long hair out of her face. And she's got her like nighttime lotions and potions on, which are like stuff like, they smell really good, like like the kind of moisturizers that when you sniff them you're like, god damn, I want to dunk something in that and eat it. Lavender and honey, so you're like, oh my god, you smell delicious.
If it isn't edible, then why does it smell so good?
I had a friend buy this like honey, it was like honey and cream shampoo.
Ooh.
And he was like, it smells delicious, and it like the flavor. It's not flavor, but like the scent. He was like, the scent sounds insane. He was like, I'm gonna taste it, and he full on just like squirted in his hand and licked it, and then was like, no. And I was like, why would you do that?
Yeah. I have had that with
It's
soap
just that
before.
intrusive filter, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like, Helen's got some honey soap, and she said, chuck it up. I was like, I thought I'd give it a sniff, and I was like, oh my god, that smells amazing. It smells
You took
like
a bite.
rich. No, I was like, there was a split second. I was like, I should. I was like, no, James, you are a grown man. You cannot eat soap.
Slapped yourself and kept going.
Yeah. And I was really good, and I gave myself a little treat, which was a smaller bar of soap.
Oh no!
Yeah, so you find her in there. She's sitting there. She's flicking through, let's say, a photo album, because I've said photos existing as well. Because so fuck it, why not? It's like a magical spell that like it's very common, like the effective like a cantrip or a first level spell. People can like impart images into paper, like and they're photorealistic. And it's not like Harry Potter where the pictures move. It's just like a captured image, and there are like pictures of Lorelei and Ingrid as kids. Well, some of Lorelei as an infant, and then some of the pair of them when Ingrid was very young, and then lots of Ingrid as she kind of like went through the last kind of decade of her life, not as an only child, but more of her. Obviously, the ones of Lorelei are not always like super happy. She's very withdrawn, like very pale, didn't go out a lot, and the ones of Ingrid are much more like I will use the word normal, but you know what I mean. I just can't think of a better word for it. But she's looking at these pictures with this like happy, nostalgic glow. The pictures of the whole family, and then for the sake of argument, we'll say there's a couple now that you've had done whilst you're back, and they're like candid shots. Of like you you teaching Ingrid how to shoot. What would that kind of look like? How? Because I have an idea in my head, but I don't want to like put words into your mouth of what Lorelei would be like as a teacher. So, what would those pictures look like?
I think it'd be like Ingrid standing in like form of like knocking an arrow and things like that, with Wolf like adjusting the posture slightly and like showing the aim and things like that. I think she'd be a very poor teacher.
I think she'd be severe. Like no, I mean when she's doing it, like her face would be like knotted concentration. Severe is probably.
I think she'd be concentrating.
Yeah. Like
making sure that she got it right and Ingrid got it right, but she wouldn't be like angry. I don't think.
Yeah. That's kind of what I pictured. Like you were more concerned with her getting it right than you were with having like a good time, but the fact that you're like so invested in it is the fact that it's a good time, kind of what
yeah,
I mean.
Probably something along those lines.
And so Maria, is it Maria? Yeah, Maria. God, it's been weeks. Maria's looking down at these pictures.
You did almost say the mother.
The mother, yeah. Your mother is going through these pictures with a smile on her face, and she looks up and sees you both come in, and she like puts the book to the side. She picks up her pint glass of vodka that she drinks every night before bed, and she looks at you with this smile, and she says, "Oh, good, you had a good day, Beth? I was just about to turn in."
The day got better.
Oh, better. Well, I know you came back with a little bit of a cloud over you, but it's glad to hear you got better. It's nice out there by the bonfire. Sorry, I can't think of the word for fire.
I'll suggest that hot thing. And as she says that in Maria's head, Wolf goes, Lorelei goes, "Yeah, it is really nice outside by the fire."
Just imagine. I don't know if you've done this where you give someone really like good news and it doesn't quite sink in because maybe
it takes her half a second.
It's like a beat. She's putting something up and she's like smiling and nodding. She's like getting ready to go, and then she like queries back and she looks around at you with this cocktail, like a double take. And she looks at Lafi. I will give you Wolf advantage on a deception or performance check, but not Lafi, to see if that you can hold your faces from laughing against this woman's. I will just roll a flat.
That's a disbelief.
Yeah. Basically, that's
wow.
a roll.
What's this check? Sorry,
Lafi is grinning.
It's like a deception or performance. Whatever.
Well, it doesn't change for me. It's never gonna happen.
Double ones, fucking hell.
I mean, it was technically double twos.
Double twos, but Jesus. I mean, if all the checks to fail on, this is quite a nice one to fail on. Yeah. So like the two of you are standing there with these just fucking stupid grins on your faces, I assume. And she's been very stoic. Not stoic again. Not right. I can't think of the word. I can't word good today. She's a very
mild-mannered.
Yeah.
I don't want to say emotionally constipated, but she's very guarded. I think is probably the best word with what she lets people see of her, especially with those private emotions, and like the extreme emotions. She manages them very, very well. Like you can't really tell when she's stressed out. You can't really tell when she's super upset. But she kind of looks with this like inquisitive eye, sees right through the pair of you. I just imagine Laffy's just like. Like that, and you've got this big grin on your face too, and she like her hands rushes to her mouth, and she rushes in, and you hear her voice because she's not been able to like project to you either. It's been like it's almost like that part of your brain has been turned off or removed. And you hear her voice in your head, "Oh, Lorelei!" She runs forward and she scoops like you up, and she's having this very emotional, this big hug. And you can Laffy, you can see there's like a look like tears in her eyes as she's giving you this big hug. She said, "You it came back. What happened? What happened?"
And she just like looks over to Laffy and just just says it out loud. I think it was Laffy.
She stares at you with obviously like, "What? Have you told this woman who you are?" I can't remember what we've spoken about.
No.
You haven't. Okay.
But I would, but I feel like I shouldn't after the fortune teller thing.
It's you. I mean, don't this woman would be more inclined to believe you, I think. But it's like,
well, if she asks like, "Oh, how did you manage that?" Then she'd probably be like, "Well," but she wouldn't just be like, "Yes, I'm one of the little sisters."
Yes, I am amazing. You should worship me. She's gonna stare at you and like pull you both into a hug. While she's doing this, I would explain a little bit about how I use the word texture, but because I can't think of a better word for it, maybe the umbrance or the sound in your head is different, and I will have to be very guarded because not everyone hears voices in their head like I do. So when I think, or when I read, or when I think of someone talking to me, I distinctly hear a voice in my head. With tone inflection.
It's weird. I don't really think about it, but yeah.
Yeah, not everyone does. It's like, and certain people when they picture images.
It's called an inner monologue.
Yeah. Some people don't have that. It's like some people when if I say imagine an apple.
What's that called again?
Aphantasia.
Aphantasia. That was it.
I've got hyperphantasia, and it's a nightmare.
I kind of see it in. If I try, I can picture it in like a 3-dimensional shape, but I kind of picture like a 2D picture of it in my head. Anyway, so previously when you've had this like telepathic link, it's almost like someone's just talking straight into your ear. There's no outside sounds. There's no Dax clickety clacking on the floor. There's no there's no hissing. It's very clear. And I picked on poor old Dax there. I only did that because I could just hear him.
He's being a little shit. Don't worry about it.
Dax is the star of the show, so you hear it very clearly now. When you're doing it, and Laffy would have probably noticed this a little bit when it first happened. It's a little bit more sonorous, and you know that feeling when you walk from shade into sunlight.
Yeah.
There's no like temperature change, but you just know you've come out of the shade. Like if you put your hand into like a ray of light, you can feel it. It's got like a different kind of the air's got like a different kind of weight and texture. It's that kind of subtle shift. It feels a little bit. I don't use the word heavy, but it's got more weight to it. Now when Lorelei speaks in your head, it kind of like it's a little bit more musical, even though her voice hasn't changed. It just rings in your head clearer.
Yeah.
And it's very much a lighter, breezier. It's less like her speaking. It's more like she's like sharing something else. There's like a light behind it that wasn't there before. And when Maria, Lorelei's mum, if she sends something to you, it isn't there from her. It's only coming from Lorelei. This kind of more enlightened thing. What that means in practical terms is you are able to share like not just thoughts, but like concepts and images and stuff like that. Because previously it was just like wording, but it's like very much like
I'm like a security camera.
Does this mean I can see Wolf's dreams?
Only if she wants to, but it's not.
If she like shows them to me.
I want to be really clear. She's not like, okay, look through my eyes. It's, Asher would need to like describe it in his own words, kind of thing. But like, if you wanted to,
yes,
you know what I mean? It's like,
it'd be like a second hand,
like a second hand image of what Lorelei runs through her head when she pictures something. So this is why I took the pains to talk about like the image of an apple. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so this is why I was talking about the image in your head. So I would like, it's up to you how Lorelei pictures things in her mind's eye. For me, it's different to how it'd be for you. So when I picture apple, I have the concept of an apple in my head, but I can form it into a picture if I wanted to.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, that's not something I've really thought about.
Now. You have to say no. It's just it's a really weird thing. Like when you come up with a character background, you don't.
Yeah, I don't.
How does my person think in their own head?
What's their inner monologue like?
What's their inner monologue like? I mean, it's a weird thing to ask. But there's this lovely moment between the three of you where Maria, this very emotionally guarded woman, kind of breaks down for a second or two, almost like she did when you first arrived. But it's more pent up because that was a surprise, and this is like overwhelming relief, almost as if you'd had a terminal illness and then you've just realised it's like either a misdiagnosis or you've been cured. It's something that was taken from you, has been given back in a new form, or you've gained access to it again, and that connection you had with her is back. She sweeps you up in this huge hug. Is there anything particular you would like to say? She's effervescent with thanks to Lafi. She doesn't understand it, but if Lafi says, and you and Lafi both agree that it's coming from her, she'll just accept that on face value. Like, there's no reason for you to lie. She'll just accept that, and she'll just be really like grateful.
I've got no quarrels with Wolf's mum knowing about who Lafi is. I think it'd be a very funny conversation, actually. Can you imagine bringing a girlfriend home and then you find out that she's like a demigod?
I have no issues about it either. It's just, up to you. Do you want to say it?
I can't think of a normal way to fit it into the conversation, like I say, so unless
it's a tough one. It's a big thing to drop.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell her.
Well, no, if it was brought up, like if somebody said, like...
By the way, do any of you know any demigods? Have you met any on your travel? But no, if you can't think of a way to do it just now, that's fine. But if there's anything else you'd like to say to her before we move on a look, because basically for her, it's the reparation of a unique relationship she had with her daughter that had been taken from her. Like the primary way that she'd communicate, it'd be like someone telling me that I couldn't gently wind people up all the time.
You'd be gone.
I would be a shell of a man. I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't know how to have a normal conversation. It'd be like someone saying to me, James, you're no longer allowed to use comedy to hide your trauma. I'd be like, what? What? I have to address my feelings.
Okay, I do have a question out of game. Are we going to talk to her at the beginning of next session, or are we?
I was going to have you leaving in media res, so you going, like, we started off, everyone said farewell. I will say to the rest of the party, is there anything specifically you'd like to say to?
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Them? But this is why I thought it'd be better for you two specifically to have an open moment, because the farewells may be slightly more elongated. Also, we're again now in this floating timescape. This doesn't have to happen the same night. You don't even have to leave the next day. It could be 2 or 3 days after that where you left. It's completely up to you. How long it is how long it takes you to get ready to leave.
Okay.
Other things can have happened, but it will be soon after this period that you go. I will say it's effectively been 2 weeks. It's going to take you another three or 4 days to, it could take you like between 2 and 4 days to get back to the city if you wanted it to, depending on how fast you travelled. You are expected back at a certain point, but there's no like immediate rush. I just know that like it's for story purposes, it's time to move on.
Yes,
but you can do that in a number of different ways.
Okay. I don't think there's anything specifically. Because I think she would just mention the fact that, so we are going to be leaving soon. Not exactly sure when. Within, I think probably between a day or like either tomorrow, the next day, or the next day. I think. Yeah. But I'll make sure to, write and talk if I can, just because I realised how bad I felt not doing that for so long.
She kind of nods. As she has been very reluctant to kind of break physical contact.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's broken from the hug, but her arms like resting on your forearm, kind of thing. As she continues to kind of look. Every so often she glances at Lafi with this very warm smile, kind of remembering a few different things. She's remembering the flowers you arrived with. She's she's formulating this image in her head of this moment that kind of the repaired. Well, not repaired. That's not the right word. The maybe it's the right word. I don't know. But like as Lorelei steps back with what she had lost before is now back, and she's trying to picture it and kind of commit it to memory. And she gently like touches the side of your face. She's, well, whenever you can stay or you can go, you can stay for as long as you want. You'll always have a home here. You, she turns to Lafi. You two, you're always welcome. Your friends, always welcome here. It's been wonderful to have you here. Ingrid's she's a young woman. Having you here for the last 2 weeks has brought her forward so much, and I know it gets busy in the city, but there are ways we can talk. There are letters we can send back and forth, and we know how hard it is for you to come out. So maybe we'll try to come and visit you, if that's okay. I don't know if you could maybe recommend. I don't know if you'd be able to keep the three of us in your wherever it is you live now, but maybe there's an inn nearby, and we could spend a little bit of time enjoying the big city. I think so.
If he nods furiously.
The last time I was there was before you were born. I'm sure it's changed a lot.
I think she would have been there once, at least.
Yeah. Oh, well,
within Wolf's lifetime. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, the last time we were there was when you got accepted into the hunt, and that's so long ago now. I'm sure the city's changed, and well, it'd just be a nice break from the farm. And well, your father and I were talking that maybe we'd move away from the farm a little bit and try for somewhere a little bit smaller with just the two of us. You've been so generous with this money that maybe we could move a little bit closer.
I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
You seem very alright with Ingrid deciding to go off. And go ahead.
Well, you've done so well for yourself. We picture you when you were young, and she gestures to these pictures of this. I don't think it'd be unfair to say quite sickly looking girl, very pale, like a little bit miserable looking because of like these horrible recurring nightmares that you've had. And she kind of looks at you now, and you're this much more self-confident, powerful, kind of in control of what she can control young woman. She's got a girlfriend with her, and they're besotted with each other. I don't want to say leading the party, because I know, but you kind of have been just by default, because a lot of the stuff has been given to you from the Midnight Hunt. So she looks at you with like this air of respect. So it's she looks at you, and she's I think a little bit taken aback when she thinks like because Ingrid was strong anyway, and now she's like learned just from you being around us, come on leaps and bounds. Like mechanically, she's leveled up 3 levels in like 2 weeks.
I wish.
Yeah, I know, right? But like, so she's come on. She's like capable now, and she's Ingrid was so excited when you come back, and I think seeing you and everything you've done and everything you've achieved. And I know it's not all been easy, and I know it hasn't come without its costs, but she's seen you doing all these fantastic things, and she wants it for herself. And I don't know if I can say I approve of the Swamp Boys as much as I do of you, but I mean, little Rusty has been so good in teaching her the things to do and and to look after herself. I think she's outgrown the farm. She's definitely outgrown. She doesn't need me looking after her anymore. She's a young woman. She has a dragon who I keep forgetting the fucking name of.
Did you name it?
I think I did. I know I planned to. I can't remember what I call it. I was just going to call it Dragon from now on. She has a dragon that'll look after her, and I know she's been going out. Like today, while you were out, she was off patrolling the countryside, looking for bandits and investigating these sightings of strange people on the roads and trying to make sure that it's safe for everyone. And so I don't know if she's going to follow your footsteps back to the city, but I know she's talking about trying to carve her own name as an adventurer, and I would never dream to stop her. You've done it, and she wants to too.
I'm just scared for her.
Well, it's a scary life, but what's more scary, the unknown out there, or the thought of being trapped in a box in a place you can never grow?
Well, I didn't mean she'd stay here forever, of course. I had a lot of trouble when I first left, and there's still trouble most days.
She looks at Lou, like, through a wall.
Looks in the general direction that is Lou. I just want to make sure she's ready, and I don't want to see her get hurt in any way. And I know she's strong. It's just scary, and I don't want. I can't. I'm in no position to, be here for a few weeks and then boss people around. But I just want to make sure that she's all right. Even if she has people around her, it's always difficult, and it's not easy. And I don't expect that. I don't know. It's more difficult than people realize, I think, and it's not just fighting and walking. It's it's everything in between. I just don't want to see my sister get hurt.
Well, it's her life to live.
I know.
She's protected herself now. I don't think we'd be able to stop her if we said no. She's like a new woman. She's invigorated by this change. She's desperate to get out there. She's doing all she can here, and it's not immediate. It's not like she's gonna ride off into the sunset when you leave. She's gonna be here for a little while until she decides what she's gonna do. Whether she's gonna stay with these Swamp Boys, and as she says that, there's like this slight eye roll when she has to say the name, and she's. I think she'll be okay. She can't stay here forever, and I think it's time me and your father we experienced something outside of the life on the farm, because this has been our whole lives for 30 years now, and it's, I think, about time for something new before I get too old to enjoy it.
You're not. It's fine.
No, I'm not old now. I said before.
I know I can't stop. I worry.
The best thing we can do is show her a good example and put her off on the best path forward. And I know we joked before when I said she had street smarts, not book smarts, but she's a very smart young girl, and she has taken to this adventuring and this fighting with an aplomb that has taken my breath away. And I've got to say, she's been very much inspired by you as well, Lafi. She hasn't stopped talking about the three of you, really. She addressed us to Rusty, who was just like, flat out with his head back.
He was either sleeping on a chair or outside.
Outside, yeah.
No, she would have propped him on a sofa.
Propped him on a sofa, he's like, beep, beep. The three of you have been... It's okay. So she's, from you, Lorelei, she's been inspired to go out and take the world by the scruff of the neck and shake it and see what evil falls out for her to stop. And Lafi, with you. She's been, I think, her eyes have been open to the magics in the world a little bit, and she's been telling me that she thinks she can feel them too. That kind of earthly magic, and she thinks she can control it, which is amazing. It's something I've never been able to do. And Rusty, for the last few days, the pair of them have been inseparable. They've been running through the forest, and they've been, he's been teaching her how to fight and how to use different weapons and to use the bow and arrow, and all of a sudden she's this fearsome but still joyful young woman. I think it is, well, it's her decision really anyway, but I don't think it needn't keep you up at night. I don't think she's going to be diving into the jaws of any demons straight away. I think she's going to just try to keep the roads nice and safe. I'm hearing about that poor girl who was stolen. The one you told us about.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure that it wasn't another one.
No. I mean, she did mention there were some strange new faces that had been seen around, snooping around, but I think she has that well in hand.
Huh?
Well, yesterday she was, her and the Swamp Boys, I mentioned they were out keeping the roads safe, and apparently there'd been rumours of skulking shapes in the forest, bandit-like people out there. I don't know. She came back today saying that she hadn't seen any, but I know she's going to be keeping an eye out for, investigating all of the rumours, until she finds a treasure trove and she can retire a rich adventuress, I'm sure.
Would Wolf have the bag of holding on her?
Yeah.
Okay, Laffy's gonna take that cloak out that she painted for Ingrid, and shake it off and hold it up so that you stop, so that Lorelei's mum can see the picture that she's painted on it. And be like,
remind me what that picture is, please.
It's like a, when people get like a denim jacket and they paint the panel on the back of it to have different things on. She's painted a strip in the back of this cloak to look like the landscape of the farm with her horse running across.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And she's just gonna hold it up and be like, "Well, I hope this helps her with things. It's supposed to help her blend in a little bit more if she needs to."
I think definitely going to stand out in that. That's beautiful, Laffy. Thank you. I'm sure she'll be over the moon with it. Is this something you've had made for her?
Well, I bought the cloak, but I painted it myself.
Oh, now that's wonderful. You've got a real eye for this. You helped to do the mural on the side of the barn as well, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, this is what I mean. This is the joy you've brought to the farm just in the last couple of weeks. It's going to be a real pill to swallow to see you go, but we know you can't stay here. You've got a job to do, and it's it'll be something to look forward to when we see you again. How far you've come and how much you've grown when we see you again. And she gushes a little bit more about the cloak and compliments you on how you've captured the hooves of the horse.
Yeah. I think there would be a very slight uncomfortable shift when she says "can't wait to see you again" kind of thing, because obviously we don't know what's going to happen. So I think after the conversation that we've all been having for days on end, she'd kind of I can make a deception roll, but
yeah.
Oh fucking hell! She does have a high insight.
Yeah.
Her wisdom's probably.
Lorelei,
it's probably
yeah, no.
It's probably at least a bonus to that.
She's got
the face cream on. She's ready.
Yeah. What are you doing? Put that biscuit barrel back.
I didn't even make it.
So she sees this slight. I don't think she would notice it. I think she's going to put it down. I'm not even going to roll deception. Well, would it be something that you kind of
Because when you were saying it, I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
even before Beth mentioned anything, when you said see again, in my head I was like, ugh.
You guys are so pessimistic.
This is because of you.
You have hero points, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and advantage.
Yeah, but when we did the Kilpatrick thing, you were like, "No hero points here."
Yeah. Wolf's mum is not trying to kill you.
No, I mean,
future fights.
It's the thing with we just got given this dagger and we got told.
I know. Yeah.
So
you don't have to hand that out though.
Oh, pretty well. Still doesn't matter.
Yeah, still doesn't matter. But that's a crying shame. You do start with advantage, and you do have hero points. Do you want to use it? You'll get your advantage back at the immediate next session.
It's fine. I'm not going to roll high for this episode.
So she kind of notices the two of you kind of like the mood shift perceptibly, not imperceptibly because she noticed it. There was perception.
No, there was insight.
Yeah, there was insight. She perceived the shift. The vibe is suddenly off. And she,
Bad vibes, bro.
Bad vibes, bro. She goes. She thinks it's something she said about the cloak. She doesn't really. She's not a mind reader. She doesn't know. She's gonna fold it up and she's gonna like lean in and give you a little kiss on the cheek. You know, like thank you again. I'm sure Ingrid is gonna go bananas for it. She's gonna love it. She's like trying to look to see if she can get out of it. She's making the eyes, if you want to tell me something nice at the pair of you, and she's gonna hold that for about 2 or 3 seconds.
I think Lafi would look at Wolf with like the big eyes of like, do we tell her kind of thing? Like, if this is your mom, I don't know. I don't know.
In Laffy's head, she hears Wolf say, "It's up to you. I don't mind. I just don't want to scare her."
I think she'd like not do the ooh-woo fingers, but like fiddle with her fingers, sort of, and like look down at the floor, and she'd be like, "Obviously, you know that we have a lot going on at the minute. We kind of got news that was a little bit unnerving, and obviously I would like nothing more than to come back, but it just worries me that I won't be able to." Dax, please.
I know that you'd be taken out onto all corners of the continent, but it's just, you know, we'll come to the city and we'll in the next couple of months. How about that? In the next 2 or 3 months, me and Noah will come to the city, and if we're able to bring in, if she's still here with us, we'll bring her along and we'll see you then. Yeah, that's not too far away, and you know, I don't think. You know, I don't think the whole world's going to flip over on its axis before then. I hope not. Anyway, she says, kind of looking at you. And I'm sure between you and your friends, you're all very capable. I'm sure there's nothing you can't overcome. You know, you survived that horrible encounter before, and what doesn't kill you and all that. And her eyes are dying, like, to try and get a read from the pair of you. And you don't have to roll deception checks. You can just kind of describe what the face is like, what emotions are your faces giving away. I want to say you don't have to if you want to hide your emotions.
It's probably like a very sort of bittersweet. She's trying to smile, but she's scared. And then she maybe like. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I imagine when... What is Wolf's mum's name? I always forget. Maria. I imagine when Maria's talking to Laffy that she's like holding her hands.
What, Laffy's hands or her own hands?
Laffy's hands.
Well,
like if she sees her fiddling.
Like, pretty much, yeah. So one hand's always kind of like touching Lorelei. Like, but when she sees you like super uncomfortable with your hands, she will kind of take them and part them and then hold on to one of them. And then her hand will kind of like subconsciously go back to Lorelei, because she really likes you, and that's been very clear since like day one. At first, she was a little bit put out because you had like taken over the kitchen in this hurricane of success with pastries, and she's a very practical farm cook, so she's a little bit put out. But she's seen you haven't been doing that maliciously. You just are like, oh my god, the size of the kitchen, kind of thing. And so she's kind of come round to it, and she's had a lot of time to relax, which is something that she hasn't had before. So she's been very, very glad to have you around, and she sees the joy you bring, Lorelei and Ingrid. So she's very, very fond of you. But her primary concern is Lorelei. Yeah,
so I think she'd like hold on to that hand and like sit them both down, and then like tap for like Lorelei to sit down with her, and be like, "This is probably not a wonderful conversation to have, but I don't even know how to start it.
Is it drugs?"
No, God, no. Well, one of the group members. I mean, you know what happened, I assume. With that. Never mind. No, there's She'd like look at Wolf like, help.
I said confidently, and now I'm not sure.
Is there anything we need to be worried about?
Not you guys. I don't feel like I should be the one to say this.
Well, sometimes if it helps, it's easier to write things down and put them in a letter.
So, question about Maria. How much does Maria know about the war?
Very little.
Okay.
Very little. She was born like 60 years after the end of it, kind of thing.
Right.
That doesn't make
Well,
sense.
maybe not. Yeah, like 40 years after the war.
Yeah.
It's like asking me how much I know about World War II. Like a little
Loads
bit.
about World War II.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't tell you like names of generals and stuff. I could tell you like Hitler. And that's that's not the be all and end all of it. But there's stuff about World War II that I only know because
You know the big names and some of the moments.
I know the big names.
Yeah.
Sport acts, yeah.
No, so
the cool fight scenes.
So I know that Noah is an elf.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Yeah.
So maybe Noah would have mentioned something to do with the little sisters. So she's probably going to start the conversation by saying, "How much do you know about the little sisters?"
Let me find out.
Nothing.
Not one.
Oh
my god!
I
Okay.
rolled 2 there, so it's a 7.
Was it advantage or disadvantage?
No, I just pressed 2 by accident.
Oh.
I'm using my tracker pad. So she looks and she goes, "Well, Lorelei had a book on them when he was very, very young. One of Noah's old ones." She kind of sits back and she like rattles off like 2 or 3 of the names. So she sits there. She sits there for ages and she like rattles off code. She goes like Cordelia, Miranda, Donna, Cupid, no, Sleepy, Sneezy, no. And she's like, she comes up a cropper and she's just kind of like, I've heard of them. So for context, these aren't like, this isn't like Superman and the Justice League levels of knowledge. This would be like asking someone, who's your favourite Greek muse?
Yeah.
Like,
Jesus.
I have one, but like most people will not have one.
Yeah.
What's your one?
I like Calliope.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Who doesn't like Calliope? But like, I have like, that's because my brain is broken and I have so many things.
How often do you think about that?
Yeah, how often do you think
Holy
about
Empire?
the Roman Empire? Yeah, but like, it's like people will be aware of some people be aware of the concept. Some people will be not intimately. Some people are intimately aware of them. Some people are very aware of them. Some people have like a passing knowledge of them as a thing. So
Ancient Grace, yeah.
Yeah, ancient Greece. Yeah, like shit. Muse. Yeah.
So
Are they the
Laffy,
guys who sing the songs in Hercules?
so Laffy's gonna take out a pamphlet. Like I imagine she got like a pamphlet from the.
Sorry,
What?
that really made me laugh. Sorry, it's takes out a religious pamphlet. So here's
Oh,
some
yeah,
This is 101.
No, 'cause she went to the-
Have I told you about me, your Lord and Savior?
No, so she went to the thing with the little sisters fancy dress thing, and I imagine they would have had like little pamphlets with all the names of the sisters on.
That's a good point. They did have that. I'll say she rattles off a few of them, but is like not fully up to speed. So she would not like native. She wouldn't have been from this area. She would have maybe been from a little bit like a slightly more remote part of the country.
Yeah.
Or like initially when she was born, she wouldn't have been from this exact area, perhaps. So and I don't think Adventure Con is like a thing she would go to, but she would be like passingly familiar. It's like if I asked you to name all of Santa's reindeer, you can do Rudolph and then like maybe 4 or 5 others. Kind of thing.
Yeah, she's gonna like put this little piece of paper down with like a list of all the names in front of her, and she's gonna say, and then she's just gonna like roll her finger down the page until she gets to Lafette and like stop and like look at Wolf's mum like with these eyes that are like, see what happens.
She's gonna take the paper from you, the pamphlet,
Uh-huh.
that I love the imagery of this. This is so good.
It's because Lafi can't be serious for a second.
Yeah. She's going to take out her like half moon nighttime reading spectacles and hold it at arm's length and tilt her head back because she can't really read it by the firelight. And she starts like mouthing the words, and she gets to Lafette, and she goes, "Oh, that's same name as you. Coincidence?"
I'm shaking her head, like very slightly.
Are your parents very religious?
Still shaking her head. Well,
I don't know my parents, or if I even have parents.
Oh, that's
Lafi. This is stressing. Are you gonna say it, or do you want me to say it?
I want to say it. I feel weird saying it. Last time I said
Lafi
it,
is Lafi.
How do you mean?
Lafi is Lafette. That.
Yes, I know. This
No.
Lafette?
Yes.
Lafette from the brochure? Sorry, the brochure. The pamphlet.
Lafette, the one that is a star.
She's going to turn it around and look at it, and she's going to glance down and go, but they were all stars, all of them. According to the pamphlet, they're all stars, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, you're telling me you're this one?
Mm-hmm.
Really? She's
not going to say anything. She's just going to look at Wolf like, see, I told you I look crazy.
She's got
Yes,
this
she
big,
is.
like unsure smile on her face. Okay, so she's gonna like, her mum is gonna be like pretending to thumb through the, she's gonna open the pamphlet and start looking at it, but you're gonna hear Lorelei very clearly in your head, and she said, "Where did you find this girl exactly? Are you sure is she all there? Is this for real?"
Okay. I'm going. I think Wolf just says, Lorelei says, I'm going to say this out loud. It feels wrong not to. When I was in Haven Aura, I was told to meet at the Tears of the Moon, one of the inns, the taverns there. And for like the tithe, people to, yeah. And a few people walked in, the group that you know, as well as Lafi.
Hi.
We went on a mission, and it became increasingly obvious that she had, I don't want to say amnesia, or she forgot things. I guess is that I don't know that's the best way to put it. But we found out that from certain things that she is one of the little sisters. That one.
Okay. Well, I don't really know what to say to that. Is that a nice thing for you, or?
Well, this is kind of where I was going with it, and the whole wanting to come back but not being sure if I can. There's this thing with the little sisters where we're kind of expected to do whatever we can to stop something, and usually we're only really brought in when things get bad, and I don't know yet what that big bad is. He's awake.
His tail's wagging in the background. He's having a dream where he's chasing a cat.
But I know that it might be bad.
As you explain, you take her through this. She's had this like incredulous grin on her face as she's trying to figure out if this is like another joke. And as you can see that, I'm not going to roll because her insight has just been on point the entire time. I'm going to say she's got quite good passive insight. So she's...
Wolf's been dead serious this whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and like so, the pair of you kind of working in unison to try and convince her this is the case. So she's kind of like coming around to it a little bit. So this incredulous grin has kind of faded, and her eyes, she's gotten quite serious. You're talking about like there's this big problem, and you're brought in to resolve it, and you don't know if you're ever going to come back. And she looks down and she goes, well, if you don't know what the issue is, how can you stop it?
The issues do sort of find us.
Yeah.
But how
Plus,
do you know
Kilpatrick could very much be an issue.
But from what you said when you got here, he isn't the only thing you've had to fight. There was the. I'm assuming you told her. Maybe not went into detail, but you mentioned stuff like the chloride path and the werewolves and like some.
Probably, yeah.
Vaguely,
in passing, yeah.
Yeah. It's just you talked about the other things you fought and the werewolves and how do you know which is the one you meant to stop? And...
I think it's more the thing that we'll know leading up to it, but I can definitely say it's not a bunch of werewolves or something like that. We've fought a few bigger things, like the plant that I mentioned, and which I feel like most people don't believe me when I say it. Kilpatrick, the chloride path, they've been like the big three. It's one of the reasons I'm so scared for Ingrid. I'm terrified. I'm feeling good overall, but I'm terrified of bad things happening. And it's all very up in the air at the moment. So far, the biggest thing is definitely Kilpatrick. We don't know what's going to happen with that. But there's so much out there, and whispers of so many things I'm not sure where to start, and I'm not going to get into it because it's a lot. But
Maria knows Runo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if she'll know him like intimately. It'd be like
she's like the neighbor
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a local old coot. I suppose is the best word for it. He's like a bit of a local eccentric. So I'll say yeah, she knows him. Like she'll know him by sight, and probably like he'll know her by sight and name and stuff like that.
When we went to see Runo, we found out a lot more than we were bargaining for. Runo fought with my sister, Rhea, in
down the list.
What's the big fucking war? Was it just the Lich Wars?
The Lich War.
Yeah.
What's the name of Wolf's grandmother, great grandmother?
Is it Edith or Ina?
Edith Howells. And Edith.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, you mentioned when you came back.
Bruno and Rhea were very close. I think Bruno may have had a thing for her, but when it came down to it, Rhea sacrificed herself to save everyone, and it could have gone an entirely different way if she didn't. And he said that if it comes down to it, that I can do that too, and that's something we've been talking about and trying to find a way to avoid. But
well, of course, why would? And when, so she sacrificed herself to stop to bring the war to an end, and I obviously wasn't there, but without that, the world would be a very different place. But what do you mean sacrificed herself? Like,
there was a dagger that's made specifically to
specifically for that reason,
and he gave it to me should we need it.
And he used it on her, or she?
He used it on her, but she asked him to.
Well, and presumably, I'm guessing you don't want to have to ask any of your friends.
She's furiously shaking her head.
To do that, yeah, obviously.
No, we're not. That...
Well, Lorelei, could anyone make you do that?
No, I'm honest. I'm being.
Well, what would be the dominoes that have to fall to bring that decision to your head? I can't see that decision being made, and I'm sure. I mean, Rusty, bless him, he follows you like a lost lamb. I don't think he'd let you get into a position, Lorelei, where you had to make that choice. And
I don't want to think about it. I'm going to be honest. I never want to be in that decision. I know.
Yeah. Well, let's assume then, from the situation here, Lafi, if you don't want to put your friends in that situation, and your friends don't want to be in that situation, then that situation probably won't happen, because you're all going to be working to prevent it.
Mm-hmm.
No one can make you do something you don't want to do. Well, they could, but you have a group of friends around you, and she, like, she pulls you in, like, imagine her like sat on like a sofa, like talking to each other. She's gonna put her arm around you and give you a bit of a hug, and she's gonna like maybe she's gonna say this in your head. Yeah, I think she probably would say this in your head. So maybe Lorelei wouldn't hear this bit, but yeah, she says if you surround yourself with people who love you, they will protect you from those things. You don't need to be afraid of asking them to do something they don't want to do. I can't imagine anyone being in the situation where they'd want to hurt you. I wasn't there in the war, but I can't imagine things getting that bad ever again.
I think she'd attempt to say this back, and I don't know if it would automatically go through Wolf, like you say.
Well, it's the same feature as Wolf's old one, so it would work.
Yeah.
It would.
But she'd say it back in her head. She'd say something along the lines of, I just worry that I'm going to disappoint my sisters.
I don't think you could do that. You're trying your best.
But they all made this sacrifice, and if it came down to it and I didn't, would that make me a coward?
Well, I don't know them, but are you sure that all of them made it?
She'd like think for a second and like shrug.
And what's more cowardly, taking yourself out of the fight to end it, or carrying on when it gets darkest? Try and bring out a solution for it that's better for everyone. She's going to give you a bit of a squeeze on the shoulder, and she's going to look up at Lorelei, and like there's still warmth there, but there's a little bit of like steel in her eyes now. That steel is probably not the right word. She's like, as she looks up, she's got like a little bit of that stoicism back, and she's going to say this straight into your head so Lafi wouldn't be able to hear it. And it what would she say? It'd be like, it's her burden to bear until she asks someone to do it, and I don't think she's going to ask anyone to do it, so you got to help her.
I'm always going to help.
Good. And then that kind of like stoicism kind of disappears when you say that.
Wolf was going to say something, which is bad said. Logan doesn't say anything.
I'm gonna say at this point, Rusty starts fussing, so Laffy's gonna like stand up and be like, "I'm gonna put."
You're gonna let him out for a piss.
I'll let you guys talk, and she like scoops him up and because he's getting heavy now. Come on,
he's almost as tall as you are.
Yeah.
Just gonna wild shape into a giant gorilla bone second.
Come on, big guy.
Yeah.
She just like hobbles out of the room carrying him.
So what happens after that? And I don't know if you want to up it, but the conversation, I think, yeah, maybe a little bit. So when Laffy leaves the room, she's going to come and sit a bit closer to Lorelei, and put her arm around you. I think she's going to say it out loud again now. I think there's like a novelty in talking to you out loud that is weird for her, because it's always been like psychic. She's kind of like gotten used to it in the last week or so. She's got she pats you on the leg, and she says, "Yeah, I don't think she would ever ask you to, and you can always say no. But I think the important thing is not letting it get into a situation where you have to make that decision. I don't know what's out there. I couldn't guess what's going to happen. But if she's worried about having to sacrifice, then if you want to protect her, it's your job to make sure that it doesn't get that bad."
You know, but it's not always as simple as that.
I know. There's
I
things out there you
I
can
want
do.
nothing more than for her and for everyone to be alright. But I am only one person,
Yes,
and
but
I
you're...
can't.
Well, but there are 6 of you, or 5 now. However many there are upstairs.
I know there's more than just me, but I feel I don't say responsible, but I want to make sure everyone's alright. And I know it's like silly of me to try and force that, but with everything that's been happening, I don't know, it's not easy.
No. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. So, I only have one piece of advice. If you want to hear it, you don't have to take it, but it's only one piece. If you don't know what's out there, and you don't know how long things are going to remain, rather than worry about the things you don't know about, enjoy the sunshine whilst it's shining.
Been trying, but it just feels like things keep coming back.
Well, I think things will keep coming. The world never stops.
No, I know. It feels like as soon as I get it out of my mind, there's something that just hits me and reminds me. And it just means I'm constantly thinking about it. And I know I should be enjoying everything, but it's difficult to get to have a nice moment when you're constantly thinking about the bad things.
Yeah. Well, you're only young once, unless you're one of these little sisters who seem to get a go over and over again. But, you know, it says here that sometimes they're here for years, sometimes for months and months, and if you only met her 2 months ago, then you could have months and months left. So enjoy it. Don't obsess about things you have no control over. It's like when Ingrid goes out. Yeah, part of me will always be worrying, and part of me always worries when I think you're out there doing all these things. But what good will my worry do you? None at all. There are rumours down in Ratchinchester of chromatic dragons, of cults that are trying to bring them back, and that's awful to hear. But what can I do here?
Yeah,
Be here for your father and Ingrid, and enjoy the time we have. And I say it's her burden to bear. You just have to help her carry it. It might not. At the end, it might not be you she asks to use it.
Please don't say that.
Yeah, she might not ask anyone. Well, she probably won't ask anyone. But you know, you don't know what's going to happen. So let's not worry about it. Let's put it in a little box and swallow that box deep down.
I know you're trying to help, but it's not helping.
No, just enjoy the time you have with it. It's not height of summer. You'll be travelling along the roads, a beautiful part of the country, back to the big city, the hustle and bustle of it, with your friends and people around you who love you. And what's better than that?
Wolf's like tearing up slightly. Yeah.
The two of you all sit there for a little bit longer, kind of exchanging platitudes until it gets to the point where it's quite late. Is there anything else you want to say to her before she retires for the night? Specifics, or ask her or anything?
I don't think so. Nothing that comes to mind.
Right. Okay. So we will roll to the other rooms as Lafi. I don't know if Beth was shuffling backs outside for a piss.
No, yeah.
No. Okay. Cool. But Rusty does stir as you're moving him from room to room. And a couple of things can happen here. We can either do a time skip to the next day, or you can do it now. But I thought that would be a good time if you wanted to do his little tarot reading.
Ooh.
Because he was like, of all the I don't know if you brought anything back for him, I can't remember if you said you brought something back from him. I'm not actually.
Big bag of pick and mix.
Big bag of pick and mix. He's really happy with that.
Yeah, the sugar crush. That's why I was asleep.
Yeah. But when he heard about like all the two truths and a lie and all the games and stuff, he was gutted that he didn't come along. Like he was, he feels like he missed out. But he had a fun day. What he has done is he's been trying. Whilst Ingrid has been helping. Sorry, whilst he's been helping Ingrid and teaching her to fight, she's been teaching him how to draw.
No.
And so he's been trying to like, it's very much potato shapes and finger painting, like kind of like level of art.
Yeah.
It's very like rough and ready, but he's been like, he's got this big roll of paper, like an A3 sheet of paper, and if you like sneak up on him seeing it, it's not ready yet, but he's clearly drawing a picture of everyone. But he started off with you, him, and Wolf, like in the center. But he's right in the middle, holding both sets of hands. So he's been doing that with like finger painting and stuff. But he hears he doesn't want anyone to see it because he's not quite ready. And like, anyone like sneaks up on him, he glares at them and like sticks his tongue out and stuff. But he was gutted to not get a tarot reading from it. But I know I don't know if you got the message, but I sent you the pull. I don't know what you call it. That I did for him. Which if you want to interpret in your own way, that's completely up to you. I gave you the order that they were pulled in.
The only one I'm iffy about is you sent me the meaning for the Queen of Intelligence.
Yep, that's all that it says in the book.
Is that the reversed?
No, that was the normal pull.
Okay.
So the inverse would be whatever you took as the inverse of that. If that makes sense. So when I did it, I literally took it to mean the opposite. I know that isn't always the case. Or just like an alternative like reading of it. It doesn't go into a lot of detail for what it means if it's an inverted read in that particular book.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out what intelligence translates to in the actual deck.
think it was swords.
Is it swords?
No, swords was strength. Cups, swords. What were they? Cups, swords. I don't remember now.
Oh, I can't remember.
It's either coins or pentagons, depending on which.
Pentagons, it'll be pentagons.
Pentacles, not pentagons.
Pentacles.
Same thing.
I'd say I think it's pentacles.
Pentacles, testicles, salt, and wallet.
They're the same. It's like a. It looks like a. It's like coins. Queen of coins. Pentacles, pentagons, and coins. They're all the same thing. Okay.
I'm really glad we did this tonight, not in session. This would have taken fucking forever.
I mean, it would have been probably quicker in session.
All in the
but-
walls.
Ooh, that's really interesting.
Ooh.
The Queen of Pentacles reversed. Okay. Yeah, so she if he's staring,
I'll say he stirs and then he realizes you're carrying him. He's like, you know how when a cat wakes up and you're carrying it and it's furious for a second?
How dare you?
Yes. Where is my dignity, mother?
How are you doing something nice to me? Fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much. So he like shakes himself down and is like, is it bedtime now?
Yeah.
His voice is so long, Jesus.
I was about to say, yeah.
You fell asleep by the fire, and then we went in to talk to Maria, and I put you on the sofa, but then you looked uncomfortable, so I thought I'd take you to bed.
Thanks.
It's okay. Have you had a good day?
Yes, I missed you guys though, and I missed out on the games and stuff. But I had a good day with England. I gave her my magic quarterstaff, the one that I got from the monk, and she hit me on the head with it, but it didn't hurt too bad.
Oh, we'll like rub the top of his head.
Yeah, we were just fighting. It's cool. I tripped up and she landed on off in the cow pack. So it's
Oh.
Well, I'm glad you've had a good day.
It's best.
Do you want to hear something cool?
Yes, of course.
When we were at the carnival, festival, whatever you want to call it, we all got tarot card readings.
What's that?
So the lady said that they're not like, they don't tell the future, but they kind of give you like an idea of what's going on. and she gave me some cards for you.
Like a fortune teller.
Kind of.
Awesome. And she's done cards for me.
Yeah, because I told
Cool.
her about you, and she gave me some cards to do for you.
Awesome.
I am not great at this, so bear with me. But and she like takes out the
best tarot reading I've ever had.
she like takes out the little envelope and like pulls the first card out, and it's the Emperor card, and she goes, and then she like finds the little thing that goes with it, because she gave her the little description things that go with it, and she says, stability, structure, protection.
He puffs his chest out a little bit. Also, I think canonically this looks like Wolfstad, this one, from memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna turn it around and show the little picture on it.
Oh wow. Is that meant to be me? It doesn't look anything like me. Got hair and everything.
I don't think it's meant to be you, but you are a protector.
I am a protector.
You are. And then she's gonna like have a look at the little card again, and she says, the Emperor represents a strategic thinker who sets out plans that he must see through.
Do I do that?
You know what? I think that you have been very good at helping Ingrid with everything, and I think that you have been teaching her lots of things, and I'm really proud of you for that.
Yes, it's been fun to make sure she's a badass. We're trying to make it so she can beat Lou up. Not too bad, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just looks like, yeah.
Oh, queen!
It's like out of context. She doesn't even know what's happening. She just says it. It just makes sense.
Just feels a vibe in the air and fist bumps.
She goes, he guides with a firm hand.
She looks down at his stubby little fingers. Yeah.
He understands that his reign is to serve and acts rationally and accordingly for what is for the greater good.
Go great, go good.
The greater good. I do try to do my best and make sure that everything's fair. Is that what that means?
That is what that means, and you do that. And she's gonna like look at the card like curiously, like, how the hell?
What are the chances?
What are the chances? And then she's gonna pull the next card out and the next little piece of paper.
Oh, there's more of them.
Yeah, there's 5.
Wow.
How many fingers does he have?
I'm gonna say he has 3 and a thumb.
So she's gonna like hide her pinky so that her hand looks like his, and then she's gonna hold up her thumb on her other hand to count 5 instead of using one hand.
You canonically can count and read, just to be clear.
No, I know, but it's just cute.
I mean, I don't think it's come up much, but I think you definitely.
No, because we said that when Lafi got the letter and she was in the boat with him and she showed it to him and you were like, he can't read. I was like, Lafi will teach him how to read.
Okay. Yeah. He can read. He can read like.
He knows his ABCs.
He knows his absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. And she pulls out the next card and it's the Chariot. I don't know what your deck version of that looks like. Hang on, let me check. I've got the picture.
I think it came up. I think you can flavour that however you want it to look like at all.
It's Hercules.
Hercules.
I'll say it looks like Ingrid's horse.
Okay.
Pulling like a carriage because the Chariot. And she like reads the little thing. She's like, success, ambition, determination.
He kind of raises his lack of eyebrows at that.
And then she
his eye scales.
And she reads the thing and it says, the Chariot tarot card is all about overcoming challenges and gaining victory through maintaining control of your surroundings.
Another one about fighting, maybe?
Maybe. It says that the key message is that you must maintain focus, confidence, and determination.
Focus and confidence. I think I could do that.
I think you could be very confident. And she copies him when he puffed out his chest. And
yeah, he does it again, but his eyes are looking in 2 completely different directions. I think I can focus. I think I can try that. Yeah.
When I'm focus on 2 things at once.
When I'm in the fight, I'm focused. When there's a bad guy coming at you, I'm focused.
And she takes out the next card, and it's the Lover's card.
Ooh. Who does that look like? What does that look like?
It's that one female kobold.
Busty.
That's it.
Yeah. No, it's the oh my god. One of the swamp boys.
It doesn't have to be a kobold. It can be like. Remember, this is a deck for people. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying that kobolds aren't people.
Oh, I'll tell you who it could look like. It could look like oh, what was the ghost lady's name?
Sarah
and Sarah and
Vol something.
I can
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'll say it looks like them.
I'll find it.
Sarah.
James, I'll find it. Keep going.
Yeah.
But on the
Reckon-
back of it, the little note
That's
that's
it.
like attached to it is like upside down, implying that it's reversed. So she like flips it over, and she reads the reversed thing. And she says, "Oh, this card can point to inner and outer conflicts that you're dealing with. A break in communication, maybe."
He looks up at you, and he goes, "Well, there have been some things that I've been a little bit worried about."
She's gonna like tilt her head like a dog.
That's literally what I just did.
Well, there's a few things. Well, do you remember it was a couple of weeks ago when we were at the campsite,
Mm-hmm.
or the girl went missing, and I had Riptide's pike, and it just changed in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she was cross at the time, but I think she's okay now, and I'm not scared. It wasn't what I was worried about, but I did wonder what that was about and why I could do it, and it made me think that maybe there was something before I woke up.
Maybe.
And I worry that there's like that I've done that to other weapons for not nice people.
Well, I don't think that you are capable of doing not very nice things.
I'm not now, but I don't know who I was before.
If it's something that you're worried about, then we could always try and find out more
But what
when
if
we get back to the city.
But what if I wasn't a very nice person then?
But you're a nice person now.
Yeah, but what if I remember not being a nice person? I would prefer to be a nice person.
Well, you are a nice person.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I kind of worried about that a little bit.
Just because you find out something that you did a long time ago that wasn't great, it doesn't change who you are now.
Yeah, I suppose so. I just worry, what if there's other stuff like promises I made then that then I have to keep now that I don't want to keep?
He left the stove on.
She's gonna look really like what's the word I'm looking for?
Taken aback?
Yeah, by that, because obviously she's also been here before and probably also made promises. And she's gonna like take one of his stubby little hands. She's just gonna like
His nails are immaculate though.
amazing. So
Like, I imagine Ingrid's painted them.
He's got a manicure.
So, do you remember how when I first met you,
Yeah.
and I didn't know very much about myself?
He kind of nods.
Well, I recently started learning a lot more about myself and remembering some things. And I know it can be really scary, but do I seem different to you than when you first met me?
You seem, you have changed because you're just a bit more like scared of strangers now, and because of everything, it kind of makes sense. And well, that's the other thing that I'm a little bit worried about, and I know Wolf's worried about it too. Is the knife, but don't worry, we won't let it get that bad. Me and Wolf will stop it.
Sorry, I had to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Do it again.
I've
She's
been
been
sneezing
sneezing
all
all
day.
There we go.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
I'm doing it again.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh. Rewind. No, so she's gonna like keep hold of his hand and she's gonna say, the reason that I got a little bit more scared of strangers is because of things that happened since I got here this time. But I'm also not scared because I have you guys, and even when we were in that really scary situation, do you remember when we went under the water and we were under that boat?
With the octopus.
Yeah,
use the octopus. Or
Yeah.
whatever it was.
And then that thing came out and tried to get us?
Yes.
Well, you were still there with me, so I wasn't scared.
He
And
puffs out his chest again.
and whatever happens with you and whatever we find out about you, I'll still be there.
Okay. Well, I have been worried about it for a little bit, but I didn't want to say because I didn't know why I was worried.
You can always tell me if you're worried.
Okay.
I'm really worried
it's okay
too.
now. Yeah. Well, we're all
This-
worried in it together. I think all together with.
That's what I mean. You've still got us, and we've got you. So we'll be fine, whatever happens.
Okay. Good. I'm not as worried anymore.
And she's gonna like sit back and take the next card out, which is also reversed, and it's the Queen of Intelligence. I'm gonna say, oh god, I don't know. The picture on this one looks like, who's the smartest person we've met?
Card that came out. Okay, so
Wow.
I will take this one off you.
Mhm.
This is a picture of a young human girl. Looks a little bit like Lou, but completely different hairstyle, and like a chubbier face. She has got like quite a sneery smile, like quite an unpleasant smile though. I'll say that, like a very knowing and unpleasant smile. Physically, it looked kind of like it's like human. Like you can see the ears. It's not an elf. Kind of like looking down and brushing something off with disdain, kind of look on her face.
Yeah. And she's gonna read the little thing on the back of it, like when it's upside down. She's gonna say, "Oh, this card can signify that you may need to take some time on developing your own confidence and healing insecurities you have. And it can also mean wanting what others have and feeling jealous."
He is like fiddling with his like his hands are together when you're saying that, and he's kind of rotating his thumbs over each other, like fiddling with his thumbs a little bit, and he's like nodding. Like
Does that sound like something that's going on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about it?
It's not something now, but I was, and he looks like back of the house to make sure it's just the two of you, and he was like, at first, I was a bit jealous because you spend so much time with Wolf, but then I thought the other day that it's not meaning less time because I get to spend as much time as I want with you too, and it's not that I get less of you, it's you get more of us. So I'm kind of okay now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when we get back to the city, we can have like a us day.
It's like I'm not. No, it's fine. It's just because you know, it's because and you'd gone off. I'd stayed here with Ingrid and been running with Ingrid. It's just, I just thought, no, I'm not. And he's like, it's like a little bit embarrassed. You know, like,
she's just gonna like take his.
This is my mom.
She's just gonna like give him a little tap and be like, I saw this really cool park before we left, and I don't think Wolf would like it very much. So maybe you would want to go with me. And she like looks around to the side, like feigning. What's the word? It's like she's like totally pretended. She's like, maybe he wants to go with me. I don't know.
It's very enthusiastically nodding.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I don't want to say tail wagging, but you know.
Yeah.
He's not a dog, I swear.
Yeah. She sort of like smirks and then like takes the last card out, which is the Temperance card.
Okay.
I don't know what this card would look like.
I can't remember what this one actually looks like in the deck.
I can't remember.
Temperance.
I don't remember what it is.
Balance, peace, patience, and moderation.
I mean, they are not unrusty things. Isn't that one reversed as well?
No.
Oh no, it isn't. Sorry, no. On the card there, it's like an old man, isn't it? I'd say that one looks like Runo. Yeah, Runo.
Yeah, cool. So she's going to read the back. In moments where there is anxiety or great stress, you have been able to remain calm.
Yes, I think so. I only got angry once or twice.
And the Temperance card implies that you have a clear vision and know what you want to achieve.
I suppose it's like that everyone is, because I'm like, I don't want to say the strongest, but
I think you're the strongest.
Yeah, you know, I think that, yeah, I just want to, what you said about having like a clear view with the Emperor, and the other ones about being smart in a fight. I just want to make sure that that no one's getting too close and hurting people.
So, if there's one thing I've learned recently from wanting to look after everybody else, it's that you have to look after yourself, because if you go down in a fight, then you're not going to be able to look after everybody else. So maybe that's what it means by to like reflect on things and to stay calm.
But maybe I'm just a bit, I've got thicker skin and I've got my armor, so maybe it's I need to stand in front of the arrows that are coming at you so you don't get hurt, so you can keep me up.
I mean, I don't want you to get hurt.
I'm okay. I heal real quick.
Okay.
She's gonna sleep, I'm fine.
Yeah, she's just gonna like roll her eyes and smile.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, the big boy now. And he's a little bit bigger now.
I know. I don't like it. He's growing up too quick. I feel like such a mother. This is insane. Yeah, she's just gonna like put all the cards into the envelope and like put the little thing down and like hand it to him and be like, you can keep these if you want.
Thanks. So I just think that make sure I stay calm and try to look after myself so I can look after everyone else better.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty sensible. These cards are spot on.
I think they're pretty spot on.
What did she say about you?
She's gonna look kind of like shifty and like awkward. Well, I
bet she said you were strong and temperate too, right?
It was very much about not losing sight of the good things in the world, but also focusing on the big things that I really need to focus on. It was kind of difficult to understand because it kind of contradicted itself. That's a big word. It kind of. If I imagine him saying, "I know what contradicted means."
I just don't know how to spell it.
was contradicted with a K.
Yeah, it was just kind of confusing, but I think it's kind of about learning to appreciate everything while also not losing sight of what's important.
He looks like from you to the house behind you, or like the barn, like you can see both things facing in this one direction. Somehow, this is a trick of the light, maybe. I don't know. It's reflecting off the fucking cloud. Stop asking me questions.
Reflecting off of the darkness.
Yeah. And he looks around at the farm in which sleeps, Aeon, Lou, Lorelei, Ingrid, Maria, and Noah, and like you're in his line of sight too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like kind of committing all that to memory, as you say, like the things that are important, rather. And he like nods slowly and goes, "Yeah, I know what's important."
Well, what do you think's important?
He like this big, goofy ass smile. And he goes, "You guys."
Aww. She's just gonna like reach over and like give him a big hug, and then like, I think it's getting late. Should we get to bed now?
More tuckered out.
Yeah.
He sprints off and digs out his little.
He's all talking about runs.
Yeah. Action dashes and tucks himself in.
Action slash.
And we will say that it's sleepy bye time. You do not use anything. You have already long rested. Don't fucking worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
But before we continue, before we end rather, the one bit I will do in session is Riptide's what we learn. But one of the conversations that's been floating around is the lack of Azalea. Like, you guys lost track of her and assumed that you'd kind of meet her back at the farm. She knew like the direction. It's not a difficult place to find. It's like there's one long road, and when you got back there, she wasn't there. So you thought, oh, maybe we've beaten her back. And now it's quite late. It's like there's a thought like maybe she stopped off somewhere. There were a couple of inns or a couple of places. Maybe she hooked up with somebody. Who knows? That girl be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you haven't seen her, and it's starting to dawn on you like quite how long it's been with no evidence of her. Especially when like a couple of times, Riptide's like asked like a couple of people, "Are we expecting her back tonight?" The general answer is, "I wasn't expecting her to have gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know where she is." And so there's this not disquiet that settles down on the farm as you get ready for maybe your last night. Maybe there's like a little bit more planning you need to do before you set off. But there's a little bit of this question in the back of your head of like, where perhaps could she have gotten to? That she's able to get herself out of mischief if she needs to. But she's been gone a noticeably long time now, and the person who seems to be most taking that like hard is Riptide. She was like, she really enjoys everyone's company, but she was really looking forward to seeing Azalea again. And she hasn't seen that, but she's really happy to see all of you guys. But it's like, it's like when you turn up at a family gathering and the family pet is out for a walk, and you're like, oh god, these pricks. I can't talk to the dog kind of thing. But it's, so she's been a little bit put out by it, but she's been, she's getting on, and she's going to be looking out for her over the next couple of days before you set off. So she's asked for a little bit more time, just to wait to see if Azalea does come back like the next day or the following day, if she's stopped off somewhere, and maybe we could try to find someone with sending. I think that went a little bit longer than I thought. I think we'll leave it there, and we'll pick up the rest of it in session on Saturday.
Whoa.
Cool.
And just apropos of nothing, whilst I was looking for Vekin's name, I was going through, like, desperately scrolling through my notes,